Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing amazing today. In this video, we're diving into the latest updates about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. You don't want to miss this. So make sure to stay tuned till the end, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The studio lights of Live had always been warm, a comforting glow that wrapped Kelly Ripa like a familiar embrace. For more than 2 decades, she had relied on them, their steady, unwavering brightness, no matter what storms raged behind the scenes. But on this particular morning, the warmth felt sharper, almost intrusive, like a spotlight on a wound she had tried desperately to hide. The audience buzzed with its usual pre-show excitement, unaware that behind the curtain, Kelly sat motionless in her dressing room, staring at the mirror. Her reflection looked back at her, composed on the outside, but with eyes swollen from the kind of sleep that comes only in fragments. On the counter lay the letter, crisp, unfolded, silent. Mark's handwriting was unmistakable. She had read it at least 50 times, yet it never lost its sting. We need time apart. I don't want to hurt you. I love you, but something has shifted. Words that rearranged her entire world in seconds. For years, they had been the couple people pointed to, the ones who seemed to know the secret formula for a lasting marriage. They laughed together, worked together, bickered safely, loved deeply, or so she believed. But now, there was space where closeness used to be, quiet where laughter once echoed. A knock at the door pulled her from her thoughts. 2 minutes, Kelly. She inhaled slowly, smoothing the front of her dress. The show must go on, her mantra, her shield. Walking onto the set, she felt the air shift. The audience clapped, bright and enthusiastic. She smiled automatically, but the corners of her mouth trembled. For the first time in her long career, she wasn't sure she could make it through an hour of live television. They began as usual, monologue, morning chatter, but Kelly wasn't really listening to her own voice. Her mind drifted to Mark, his smile, his warmth, the countless memories layered like pages in an old beloved book. Eventually, the weight became too much. She paused mid-sentence. The studio quieted instantly. Even the cameras seemed to hesitate. She swallowed. I want to share something personal today. Something in her tone signaled that this wasn't the usual playful overshare. This was different, raw, unguarded. She folded her hands on the desk, fingers trembling. Mark and I, her voice cracked, and the breath she tried to catch slipped from her lips. We're taking some time apart. A collective gasp rippled through the audience. She lifted her eyes briefly, then back down at her hands. This isn't something I planned to talk about, she continued. It's something I've been trying to wrap my head around myself. Her throat tightened again. She wasn't someone who cried easily on camera. She knew too well how permanent televised tears could feel. But today, hiding was impossible. For most of my adult life, she said, tears gathering at the edges of her eyes, Mark has been my partner in everything. He's been my home, my friend, my constant. And for a long time, I thought that meant we were unbreakable. She wiped her cheek, attempting a shaky smile. But sometimes, even the strongest things shift. The audience remained silent, no whispers, no rustling, just a room full of people witnessing a moment that felt almost sacred. Kelly continued, her voice soft but honest. We've had challenges, like any marriage. Long-distance stretches, career changes, kids leaving home, the normal wear of life. And maybe somewhere along the way, we forgot to pause and check in with each other the way we used to. She took a deep breath, steadying herself. I don't want anyone to think there's bitterness or anger. There isn't. I love him. He loves me. But sometimes love needs space. Sometimes you have to let each other breathe, even if it hurts. A tear slipped down her jawline, unchecked. What I'm feeling right now is fear, she admitted. Fear of the unknown. Fear of losing the life we built. But I'm also feeling something else, a strange kind of hope, because hard moments can also be moments of growth. Her co-host gently placed a reassuring hand over hers. Kelly squeezed back gratefully. She leaned forward as if speaking directly to each viewer at home. If you're going through something similar, she said, I want you to know you're not alone. Relationships aren't perfect, people aren't perfect, but honesty, raw, painful honesty, can be a beginning, not an ending. Her voice grew softer. Last night, after reading the letter, I sat on our sofa for a long time, and I realized something. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if this separation will heal us or change us, but I do know that I want to face whatever comes with grace, not resentment." She exhaled shakily. "And I know that I still believe in us, even if we're standing apart right now." For a moment, she closed her eyes, letting the pain move through her instead of fighting it. When she opened them, they were glistening but resolute. "I'm sharing this because hiding it feels wrong, and because, after so many years of laughing with you, sharing stories with you, growing older with you, it felt right to tell the truth." The room seemed to exhale with her. "And whatever happens next," she whispered, "I'm going to keep showing up, with honesty, with hope, and with love." The audience rose in a standing ovation, not loud, but soft, respectful, full of compassion. Kelly wiped her tears, breathing deeply as the weight on her chest eased just a little. The lights above her warmed again, not harsh this time, but gentle. She smiled. Not because everything was okay, but because, for the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to be real. And that, she realized, was its own kind of healing. As the applause softened and Kelly regained her breath, she felt something unexpected, an overwhelming wave of relief. For days she had carried her pain silently, locked behind the practiced smile of a television host. But now, with her truth spoken aloud, the weight shifted. Not gone, but lighter. Shared. The show went to a commercial break, and as the studio dimmed, Kelly leaned back in her chair, closing her eyes. Her co-host squeezed her shoulder gently. "You were incredibly brave," they whispered. Kelly gave a faint nod. "I just couldn't pretend today." The producers hovered nearby, unsure whether to approach. Kelly waved them off softly. "I'm okay," she reassured them, though her voice wavered. "Let's just get through the rest." But okay was complicated. As the crew prepared for the next segment, Kelly's mind drifted back to the night before, the moment everything cracked. Mark had been distant for weeks. She sensed it in the pauses between their conversations, in the way he avoided meeting her eyes when she spoke, in the empty seat at the dinner table he used to occupy faithfully, regardless of his schedule. They used to talk about everything. Their hopes, their fears, their children, their work, tiny nonsense things that made them laugh until their stomachs hurt. But recently, silence had become the louder presence in their home. That evening, she found the letter on the kitchen counter, placed gently beside the fruit bowl, the one they bought together on vacation in Italy. She had thought it was a sweet note, maybe an apology for their argument the night before, or something playful the way he sometimes surprised her. The moment she read the first line, her knees weakened. She sat down on the cool floor tiles, the letter trembling in her hand, disbelief filling every corner of her chest. She had whispered into the empty room, "Mark, why didn't you tell me?" But the house offered no reply, just the soft hum of the refrigerator and the echo of everything she wasn't ready to face. Back in the studio, as the break ended, Kelly straightened in her chair. The cameras switched back on. The show continued. Celebrity news, lifestyle tips, a cooking segment, but the world felt different, softer, more fragile, and yet, she found moments of unexpected strength. She caught her reflection in the monitor, a woman cracked open, but not broken. After the final segment and closing remarks, the credits rolled. When the cameras finally cut, Kelly let out a deep breath she'd been holding for hours. Crew members approached her with gentle words and embraces. Longtime staff who had been with her through births, milestones, and heartbreaks of every kind. When the studio finally cleared, her co-host sat beside her again. "Do you want me to walk you to your car?" they asked quietly. Kelly hesitated, then shook her head. "I think I need a moment alone." Stay tuned for all the updates about Kelly Ripa. We are the first to publish all the information about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, so stay with us to get all the latest updates. And stay tuned to our USA Daily Drop for all updates.